CM Punk and Daniel Bryan coming to AEW.
The stars are lining up. My boy TK has opened up the multiverse of wrestling.
I'm going to start calling him Tony Kang. It's going to be epic. I want to see some matches against the Elite. It would be cool if MJF kind of retires Jericho and maybe CM Punk comes in and takes on MJF.
Oh, wow. Here. Wow. That man. If Beef Supreme had the pen.
My goodness, Ace. John Cena returned to take on the Tribal Chief. I have not heard a response, a pop that loud since Stone Cold.
The last time these two guys faced, it was a wannabe John Cena going against the real John Cena, and the wannabe John Cena beat the real John Cena. That's what happened, right? That's exactly what happened. We're complaining about we have these part-timers coming back and just saying, yo, here you go, here's a title shot.
You just accepted John Cena. Why don't you accept Goldberg?
The only reason why I accept John Cena, the only reason why I accept John Cena is because there's nobody else to go against Roman Reigns.
And there's no one else to go against Lesley.
And isn't that a problem?
What is up, everyone? Welcome to this week's episode of the Weekly Finisher. My name is Beefy Supreme.
Beef Supreme!
And to my left, there's a dashy debonair dude out of D-Town Love, A-Styles.
What's good? It's your boy, A-Styles.
Woo! We are going to cover all things wrestling and all the major returns this week. John Cena, Goldberg, but you know what? I'm pausing on those returns, Ace, because we have two big names that are rumored to be appearing soon in AEW. CM Punk and Daniel Bryan might be coming to AEW. Ace, what?
Let me tell you something. We always start this show red hot, and I'll tell you why. CM Punk and Daniel Bryan have been in the news this past week. Why? Because they outshadowed John Cena. That man came back from Money in the Bank, and they outshadowed him. Why? Because AEW is the hottest company in this business today. And the news, the rumors are all pointing to this fall. This fall on AEW, the new season. The new season. Imagining.
When all the TV shows come back?
When all the TV shows come back, imagining the biggest two stars in professional wrestling today of the modern era, Daniel Bryan, CM Punk, coming back to AEW, Beef Supreme. Can you imagine the lineups?
Oh, I am imagining already. I'm imagining, the matchups, the dream matches. It's going to be crazy. I woke up this morning and Ace texted me saying, hey, did you see that Living Color is following AEW and AEW Dynamite and Daniel Bryan? What the hell? If anyone that doesn't know, Living Color sings the theme song to CM Punk's song in WWE. That's big news, Ace.
There's so many dots being connected here.
There's a lot of dots, man.
And there is. And this is why this show is about to break it all down. Because we got the dots. And we're trying to connect them all together. Because not only was Living Color following Daniel Bryan, but they also followed, like our boy Beef Supreme said, AEW. Now, if y'all don't know, if y'all living on the rock, that's the same people who sing his theme song. So that's huge.
Look, we got receipts, man. We got receipts.
Bring them out.
If you've ever seen that Giphy of that guy from Always Sunny in Philadelphia, like with the strings on the board, that's what we're doing. It's like an FBI around here, Ace. We have AEW trademarked the first dance, all right? Yeah. That's the first piece of evidence that I wrote down. Because, so the Chicago Bulls had their documentary on ESPN, the Michael Jordan Chicago Bulls called The Last Dance. So it's a play on words. Second, we have CM Punk who went on his Instagram and he played the intro song of the Chicago Bulls, the song Serious. That's a huge song, and they also played it, of course, in the documentary. There are reports that WWE 2K22 they were told by WWE, hey, Daniel Bryan shouldn't be in this video game. Okay. Kenny Omega just did a podcast and he talked about how great both CM Punk and Daniel Bryan are. Okay. And Tony Khan is going to make a live announcement this Wednesday. It might be about something else, but at this point, throw it into the pit, Ace.
And not even that. We even broke on our Twitter account that Conan talked on his podcast on how he went to Tony Khan and said, yo, bro, did you sign Daniel Bryan because I want to bring him to the play. And Tony Khan didn't say nothing. He said, yo, man, I can't tell you that. He's like, man, if he shows up, that whole place going to go bananas. And TK said nothing but just smiled. If you don't understand how big this is, if you don't understand what we just showed you right now, how big everything is, I don't know what else to tell you. The stars are lining up. AEW is about to change the landscape of professional wrestling. We talk about how we miss the Attitude Era. We talk about how we miss being excited for AEW. I mean, and for professional wrestling in general. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you right now, I have not been this excited for wrestling since the Attitude Era.
I don't like that this man trashes the Ruthless Aggression Era like nothing.
We don't want to see no Monday Night Raw. And we'll talk about that later on in the show.
Well, actually, you're right. The last event that I can remember being this crazy about two superstars jumping was when the NWO arrived in WCW. That was huge. I don't know if we're gonna get the same situation here where they arrive at the same time. Maybe they arrive together, because if they arrive together, do we have a third man? Like, I don't even know anymore, man.
I mean, my fantasy booking would be Roman Reigns, but that's a whole different story.
You want Roman Reigns to be
That's a whole different story. But here's the situation.
I saw some fantasy people that say maybe even Brock Lesnar could ever be mentioned. So that.
Oh man, that's a whole different story there, man. Here's the situation though. All points signed to Arthur Ashe and All Out. Now, if I was booking this and I was TK,
what would you do?
I would have Daniel Bryan show up at Arthur Ashe, and I would have CM Punk show up at All Out in Chicago.
So the thing is, you have it backwards. Yes, All Out happens first. So if that is the case, CM Punk will get a Chicago debut, and Arthur Ashe, I think it's like 2 weeks later in September. Yeah. Again, I might be wrong. I think those are the dates. And then that's when you get Daniel Bryan in.
Yeah.
My thing is, who do you like? What are your first feuds with them if this happens, Ace?
Here's the thing, right? And this is why I love AEW, because they handle the returns really well. We have Malachi Black going against Cody Rhodes in about 2 weeks, right? Yeah. We have Andrade going against the Pentagon, right? And going against
El Triángulo de Muerte, baby.
El Triángulo de Muerte. There you go, right? We have all these feuds happening. Imagining Daniel Bryan versus Jungle Boy. Imagining CM Punk versus Darby Allin. Good God Almighty.
Okay, hey.
Good God Almighty.
You like these matches. Who are you most excited for? And don't give me both of them. Who are you most excited for?
Honestly, I have to say Daniel Bryan.
Okay.
And the reason why I say this is because we have not seen CM Punk in a long time.
Yeah.
We have not seen him in the squared circle in a long time.
We have not.
So I don't know how he is. We recently just saw Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania, and man can still go.
Well, the man can still go. That's not what you said when WrestleMania came around.
That was a whole different story. This is the American Dragon now. Okay,
well, can CM Punk still wrestle?
Oh, that's $1 million question. Can CM Punk still go? Can CM Punk still give me those good matches? Because arguably, the only matches that I ever seen a good CM Punk match was against John Cena.
You are ridiculous. Okay, this is the thing, all right? I actually debated this in my head. I think they're pretty comparable in history, and I think it's really cool that they're about to change the landscape. To me, they're the Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels of this era. You know, they're like the small guys that came on board, and they kind of changed the landscape into like the new era of wrestlers that come in.
I agree.
They're both very different. I personally think CM Punk is a bigger star. CM Punk has a very loyal following. And CM Punk is one of the only people that I hear people say, he brought me back into wrestling.
I agree.
He started it all. Daniel Bryan, I think, hit a bigger peak because obviously he main evented WrestleMania. And I don't think anyone ever got such a loud response from the crowd since Stone Cold. The Yes Movement was huge, man. So to me, that showed how big he was. But I still think CM Punk is the standard. I think he has such a loyal following. People still chant CM Punk whenever they don't like something because that's what they want. They want to see CM Punk. So personally, I think that's the standard. But I think as time goes on, obviously Daniel Bryan has won us over with his technician moves in the ring. It's going to be epic. I want to see some matches against the Elite. I want to see some good stuff. I've seen a rumor saying it would be cool if MJF kind of retires Jericho and maybe CM Punk comes in and takes on MJF. You know, there's a lot of possibilities here.
Wow, that man. If Beef Supreme had the pen, ladies and gentlemen, if Beef Supreme had the pen, oh man, TK, you might have to go talk to this man for a second. You might have to pick up the phone.
I have good ideas.
He does. I tell you what, there's so many possibilities in AEW. AEW right now is white hot. You guys have no understanding. This is not us blowing smoke under anybody. This is legitimately going on, guys. We are witnessing history in
this would be historic. I can't even imagine. Like again,
yeah,
it's like if Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart showed up in WCW. Like, it's ridiculous. This is crazy.
And this is what I'm saying. This is why, like, a lot of people are like, "Oh my, this is amazing." Y'all don't understand. We are living through history. This has never been done before. Okay, this is the first time in the last 20 to 30 years where we have a second company in the U.S. rivaling that of WWE. This is an alternative. AEW is white hot. This past Wednesday, they got the highest ratings of this year.
They're doing well. They
are white hot right now.
Another option, real quick. I mentioned that Tony Khan is going to have a live announcement this Wednesday. Yeah. I'm throwing it into the pile, but like you said, they're changing wrestling. They're changing the landscape.
Yeah,
I'm expecting an announcement that all the companies are going to put on an event together, like New Japan Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, AEW. If that's the case, again, it opens up more opportunities why people want to sign up. Daniel Bryan can now take on people from New Japan. CM Punk can take on Jay White. It's cool, man.
And this is why I said, and again, we coined the term here, guys. We talked about it here on this show. We've said AEW, my boy TK, has opened up the multiverse of wrestling. Look what's happening this past week alone. We had Jay White come into the Impact Zone. We had John Cena return. We had Chavo Guerrero return. We talked, and I know Chavo Guerrero is like, okay, that's fine. But just this week alone, there have been so many returns here in this business. There's been so many returns going on in wrestling. Guys, there is no greater chance of being a fan right now than it is today in wrestling. I'm telling you guys right now, CM Punk and Daniel Bryan coming back is huge, and I cannot wait to see what happens.
I'm going to start calling him Tony Kang. Huh?
I like it.
Yeah, man, it's a big week of returns. Personally, I know we think everything overshadowed already what happened, but I don't think I've seen a bigger return ever than the return of John Cena this week. Yeah. My goodness, Ace. John Cena returned to take on the Tribal Chief this past Sunday at Money in the Bank.
Yeah,
I have not heard a response, a pop that loud since Stone Cold. No one. I think that might be the biggest reaction I've ever heard.
I want to say something right now. That man is officially on the level of The Rock. There is no doubt about it. No. And I'll tell you why. Before he left, he was still getting booze. John Cena right now has officially cemented himself as a biggest star in WWE, hands down. And I say that because when he got that pop, that was the biggest pop he ever got coming back. That beats
it rivaled the Royal Rumble 2008.
I'm sorry. No, that beat that.
It did.
It shattered. It shattered that completely. And this is why I say this is the biggest that John Cena has ever been. Him coming back and challenging on the Tribal Chief is huge. But here is my issue. He's back. It's all great. But we've already saw what happened on Monday Night Friday Night SmackDown. And so far, I'm not liking what I'm seeing.
Well, here's the thing. I don't know what people expect. John Cena came back, and John Cena's always going to be John Cena. He's still corny. He has corny promos. He still wears the same old outfits. He's going to be 60 wearing, like, bright purple, green outfits. That's who John Cena is. I think right now fans are embracing it because they missed him. They like that. I genuinely think, I know you said he's bigger than The Rock. I think John Cena has never, I promise, that pop, I dare anyone find me a bigger pop. He is the hottest thing right now. And I think him going against Roman Reigns, that sells itself, man. Whatever they do the next 4 weeks, I don't care, because that's going to be an epic match in a giant stadium in Vegas. And Finn Balor has entered the picture, which I think is fun in the meantime. You know, Finn Balor was the first Universal Champion. It'll be fun. But honestly, that's just a small bump. We're here to see Cena and Roman, man.
And I get what you're saying, and I understand it's a big match. And we talked about it here on the show before. We talked about how that's the biggest marquee match that they have. Here's my issue. We've seen Roman Reigns already beat John Cena.
No, but that's not the same. That's not the same.
But this is what I'm trying to get you to understand.
You know, Stone Cold and The Rock fighting at WrestleMania 15 is not the same as Stone Cold and The Rock fighting.
No, not at all. But I agree with you 100%. But look at the storylines that got into that, right? Look at the buildups of those. Those were two different buildups, right?
I know, and this is This is not the same Roman Reigns. I dare say this might be my favorite heel of all time. Roman Reigns is on a whole another level.
I agree. Roman Reigns is on, and again. And a lot of people are not, and we talked about this before, and I said this here before. Roman Reigns right now is everything that I wanted John Cena to be in his prime. Roman Reigns is doing that and more. Roman Reigns has been carrying WWE since Cena left, and he has been carrying that and have taken it thus far.
But that's the thing. Roman Reigns was not carrying. In fact, we didn't like Roman. Roman was not being booked right. Roman hasn't been Roman until like the last year or so.
And that's why, until he turned heel, something that John Cena has not done. This is why I'm saying right now, Roman Reigns is arguably going on a new path, a new trend setting. This is why I'm saying the last time these two guys faced, it was a wannabe John Cena going against the real John Cena, and the wannabe John Cena beat the real John Cena. That's what happened, right? That's exactly what happened. Because if you forget, he was throwing those succotash promos, and he was coming out. People were booing him, but he was really trying hard to be a babyface. And John Cena just completely mollywopped him in promos, and he looked weak.
It's John Cena the man versus John Cena the wrestler all over again, isn't it?
And that's what I don't want. That's why I want this build-up to be different.
All right, well, obviously you're not impressed, but I don't think it's going to get bigger than this until The Rock comes back. I feel like this is the best main event we could ask for. I think we have the best heel against the best babyface in the business right now. It's not going to get bigger than this match, man.
I'm fearing for WrestleMania next year.
No, WrestleMania next year will involve The Rock. We'll be good.
I don't think so. You don't think so?
I don't think so. Well, hopefully we got The Rock, because that's kind of what John Cena's great, but we always love The Rock.
I think it's for California, not for Dallas.
Oh well, good luck. Good luck, Dallas. If there's another wrestler that we all should love as much, and that is the return of Goldberg, baby. Goldberg is back. Goldberg got a great reception on Raw, and he is here to claim another WWE title under his notch. Yeah. Goldberg is going to do great things. He's going to perform at SummerSlam and take the belt off of Bobby Lashley. Ace, how excited are you?
In the beginning of this show, Beef Supreme came at me and said, I don't know why you hating on the Ruthless Aggression era. Let me tell you something. This past Monday Night Raw, it felt like the Ruthless Aggression 2.0. I thought You shut up!
Ruthless Aggression era gave us Hollywood Rock.
Shut up! I was expecting Triple H to come out with Evolution. I was expecting HBK. I was expecting Scott Steiner to come out. Big Papa.
All of those things sound great.
Why is this match the biggest marquee that Raw is having? Why is this happening? Let me tell you something. This does nothing to Bobby Lashley. And I tell you why.
That is not true.
And I'll tell you why. Because ever since Goldberg has came back, he has lost 4 of his great comebacks.
Yeah.
It does nothing for him.
Okay, how many times have we said this? The Rock lost multiple times. The Rock came back and lost to Evolution. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Goldberg is Goldberg. You know you just said that, and yet everyone popped on Monday.
Yes, they pop because they know what he is, and he's the biggest superstar of yesteryear.
Not of yesteryear, of today. John Cena.
And that's sad.
No, it's not sad. I think that's wrestling. People forget. Wrestlers have long shelf lives. So if you follow sports, everyone kind of they have athletic ability in their 20s, and then in their late 20s, early 30s, that's when athletes really hit their prime and they're the best. Damn. And then they go downhill, they retire. Athletes are not wrestlers. Wrestlers go all the way to like their 50s and 60s, and they're still in their prime. Wrestlers is a whole different game, baby. Goldberg is going to be around for the next 10 years.
This does nothing for Bobby Lashley. I'm glad he has a great shelf life. I'm glad that he still gets big pops. He's a legend. No, I would be shocked if he did not get a big pop. Here's the problem. This does nothing for Bobby Lashley.
Why?
Because Goldberg has already lost. He's already lost to The Fiend. He already lost to Brock Lesnar. He lost to Drew McIntyre. This does nothing to Bobby Lashley.
But Goldberg defeated The Fiend, and Goldberg defeated Brock Lesnar. Goldberg is a person that, like, if you defeat him, that goes on your belt as, like, a big accomplishment.
It doesn't anymore because it means nothing no more.
I think you're insane.
Beating Goldberg does not mean nothing no more in the modern era.
That's not true. So I want to know. Who would mean something? Like, who could Bobby Lashley beat that matters in his resume?
Here's my thing.
No, tell me.
What you just said is the reason why I can't stand WWE. Because the problem is they have nobody. What
are we complaining about?
We're complaining about we have these part-timers coming back and just saying, yo, here you go, here's a title shot.
You just accepted John Cena. Why don't you accept Goldberg?
The only reason why I accept John Cena, the only reason why I accept John Cena is because there's nobody else to go against Roman Reigns.
And there's no one else to go against Lashley.
And isn't that a problem?
It was, but you didn't say the problem during John Cena. You said the problem during Goldberg.
And that's why I said for WrestleMania, there's going to be a big issue because what's going to happen at WrestleMania? How long can they keep bringing back these part-timers?
Who cares about WrestleMania? It's July.
Oh, man, come on.
It's July.
Beef, come on, Beef.
Did you do your Christmas shopping yet?
Yes, I did. I got you something real nice.
Oh, thank you. That's really
nice. I appreciate you. Here's the situation. And we're talking about right now, who's next Goldberg, but who's next after Goldberg? This does nothing for Bobby Lashley. He beats Goldberg, and then what else happens? Nothing else happens.
I think we've seen this. I think you're biased, man. Look, even if we don't like Goldberg, the truth is he's a huge marquee name, and that's a huge person you want to defeat. I am sure that Lashley is honored to go against Goldberg and hopefully get a win over him. Because honestly, Goldberg has been in some of the biggest matches in history. This is a man who defeated Hulk Hogan for the world title. He defeated Triple H for the world title. He's fought The Rock. Like, it's great. No, he just fought Brock Lesnar and took the title from him. He just defeated the
years ago.
Not 20 years ago, 2 years ago. Okay,
Lashley, nothing that Goldberg brings to the table.
It's the ultimate booking. When The Miz was WWE champion, actually, I don't know if he was champion. When The Miz was WWE champion, they even had him do a ladder match against Jerry the King Lawler. Jerry the King Lawler is not a huge name, but you know what? That win mattered because he's a legend. Lashley,
we don't even care about that. That has nothing to do with Jerry. That match did nothing for The Miz. You know what got The Miz over? No, it did not. You know what got The Miz over? The Miz got over with Daniel Bryan. The Miz got over during Talking Smack. That's how we got over.
Okay, that's 7 years
Jerry
after
Lawler
he won his first title.
Fam, this is why I'm saying.
No, when someone went
to Bobby Lashley.
No. The Miz was the Miz main event at WrestleMania 27 against John Cena. So obviously Daniel Bryan was many years after that. Obviously he didn't need Daniel Bryan. He already main evented WrestleMania. In fact, after Daniel Bryan, has he main evented WrestleMania? No. Like, the Miz was over already. Bobby Lashley winning over a legend is good for Bobby Lashley because I'm sorry, defeating someone like Big E or defeating someone like Keith Lee, that does nothing for anyone.
And that's the problem because they don't build up these guys for it to matter. Well, and that's what I'm trying to get you to understand, that the build-up for this match does nothing for Bobby Lashley. And this is why, and you brought up Keith Lee. So let's talk about what happened to Keith Lee and Karrion Kross. Because here's the situation. NXT is dead.
What is happening with NXT?
NXT is dead. Keith Lee came out to a lukewarm reaction. This man has been gone for I don't know how long, and he comes back, and they start cheering because they thought it was somebody else. And when they figured out it was Keith Lee, they were like, oh. He came out to face Bobby Lashley and lost.
Yeah.
In his hometown.
Yeah.
That man is going nowhere.
And then we had Karrion Kross make his Raw debut. Actually,
in 1:30 against Jeff Hardy.
Yes.
Who I don't even know if he's a heel or babyface because he beat the heel by putting his legs on the ropes.
Well, can I just say Jeff Hardy with his old theme song from 2009 was epic. That's so cool.
It was a great thing, but what is going on? You have Karrion Kross, your NXT champion, who is undefeated in NXT, and he comes and he loses to Jeff Hardy.
But the truth is, I feel like you're not being real, Ace. The truth is, Karrion Kross, as much as people might not want to admit it, it's been the chatter online that he's not that great of a champ in NXT. He hasn't created memorable moments. He's not everything he was hyped up to be before he showed up in NXT. Keith Lee also needs to step up his game. He just made his return, and there's not much there. Like, I don't know what his big moveset is that captures a crowd. It's up to the wrestlers to capture a crowd. And if you're not cutting it with the positions that they're giving you, maybe it's time to blame yourself a bit.
And this is why I'm saying where NXT is dead, because it's a lot of smoke and mirrors that Triple H and his best friend HBK are doing down there, and there's nothing going on there.
I don't think it's smoke and mirrors. I think Triple H and Shawn Michaels put on a good product, and then it's up to those wrestlers, if they leave NXT, to bounce off of that. If I have someone give me the ultimate privilege and give me opportunities, and then I get let go of the company and I go somewhere else and I flounder, that's on me. I have to bounce off of what was given to me.
And I get what you're saying, but when Karrion Kross came out without Scarlett and his interest, I'll tell you what, Karrion Kross's whole gimmick was his interest, and that was stripped away.
Well, that says a lot about who Karrion Kross is. That's my point.
But this is my thing. That's my point. But that's my thing, though. Is it Karrion Kross' fault, or was it Vince saying, "Yeah, take that off. We don't want that. We don't need that. She's staying in NXT."
I'm not disagreeing with you. I know he's taking away his biggest asset. The point is, if your biggest asset is your valet that's coming out with you, then you're not much.
And I think and what you just said right now speaks volumes to what Vince did. And the way I saw this past Monday Night Raw, I saw that as a direct shot at Triple H, saying, "This is what you get for losing the Wednesday Night War, and this is what you get. Take back your champion."
Punishment against Triple H?
I'm telling you, it's a punishment, and I'll tell you why. Because there is no if I'm a casual fan and I'm watching that match, what is the reason for me to go watch NXT? He's supposed to be in a feud with Samoa Joe. Why am I supposed to watch that when he just lost to Jeff Hardy in 1:39 on Monday Night Raw?
Well, I'll tell you why. Because Karrion Kross is no Jeff Hardy. I think you just don't grasp history. Jeff Hardy is a Hall of Famer. You keep acting like losing to Jeff Hardy is such an insult.
Fam, you are debuting a brand new superstar, and you have
it's a legend. Get over it.
That does nothing for him. Karrion Kross and Keith Lee are done, man.
They are done. But you know who's not done, Ace?
Who?
Nikki A.S.H cashed in her Money in the Bank this Monday against another living legend, Charlotte. And she got the whole crowd going, baby. Nikki cashed in. She won the title, the briefcase on Sunday. She cashed it in at the end of Monday. Are you okay with all this?
I'll tell you what. Let me tell you something right now. I was shocked that she cashed in so soon.
Yeah, so was I. That was
that was a shocking moment. But here's my issue. I'm not sold on Nikki A.S.H. There is nothing that you talked about. You talked about Karrion Kross being stripped away from that. They put her in a gimmick, looking like the Hurricane, and I'm still not sold on her.
First off, the Hurricane was really cool, and second, from what I've read, it was her idea.
Well, guess what? That was a bad idea.
No, she's a women's champion.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Congratulations. You got put in that spot. But that was a bad. I don't understand that gimmick. There's nothing that gravitates me to Nikki A.S.H. Why am I supposed to care about you?
I'll tell you
why. Because you're a superhero?
Yes, I'll tell you why. Kids like superheroes, okay? And I feel
so it's not my demographic. That's all you had to say.
It's not your demographic. You're getting old, Ace. You're getting old.
That's all you had to say. That's all you had to say. At this point, this is why WWE is going to lose to AEW this fall when CM Punk and Daniel Bryan come back.
Well, I just want to. Well, I mean, probably those are two huge names, but I just want to say I want to commend how great of a superstar Charlotte is. I always say she doesn't belong on the top tier list, but my goodness, she is spectacular. When she came out on Sunday, everyone was booing her. They were chanting for Becky. She flipped off the crowd, and by the end of the match, she had them eating out of her hand. Like, she killed it. If it wasn't for her, if she's not the champion, that match doesn't even main event on Monday. Yeah. And the reaction from the crowd from Nikki isn't that big. So I think, again, that's why you need legends. You need big names. And Nikki hopefully benefits from this. I think you're right. I don't think she's going to do – she's not a Charlotte. You know, she's not at that level. But Charlotte put her over, and I think she's going to do great. It'll be fun.
We'll see what WWE Creator have in store for Nikki A.S.H, but I honestly don't put my baskets in anything. I'm not putting my eggs in the basket yet. Honestly.
That's fair. Well, I think it's cool. Well, obviously, you're a very AEW loyal fan yourself.
Most definitely.
I want to bring up Ace attended AEW Dynamite Live this week, and he had a blast with his crew, with his friends. Ace, you sent me a message saying that was the best live show you've ever been to.
Let me tell you something. The Weekly Replay crew, we went to AEW Dynamite Live here in Dallas, and I'd admit myself, right? I was talking to Beef Supreme before the show, and I told him straight up. I said, you know what? The card was it is what it is, right? The card wasn't that great. Right? It was all right, right? Next week's card is light years ahead of what it was this past Wednesday. But when I tell you that a crowd really makes a show, my God Almighty, does the crowd make a show? I've been to 2 WrestleManias, guys. I've been to a lot of these big shows in WWE. There is nothing that stands. There is nothing like going to an AEW show, and I'll tell you why. Because that AEW audience just is on it's like having a Monday Night Raw after Mania constantly.
I just want to say, you are saying that this was better than WrestleMania. What is wrong with you?
It was because the crowd was white hot. The crowd was all in unison. Everybody was energetic. Everybody was just excited. Everybody was just there just to have a great time. And the energy was it was 2 different energies, fam. And we talk about feeling a vibe. The vibe I got at WrestleMania 28 wasn't the same vibe I got when I went to AEW. It was just different.
I know Ace is throwing out all his riches. I also attended WrestleMania 28.
Oh, who cares
and that
about
was spectacular.
You? Who cares
I don't know what you're talking about.
And you haven't been to an AEW live event, and I'm telling you right now.
No, they don't come to the West Coast.
They don't like you like that. If you have not gone to an AEW show, I implore you to get your tickets and go. I guarantee you, man, that we can talk about CM Punk, we can talk about Daniel Bryan, we can talk about everybody else. But here's the key ingredient that AEW has, and that's the fans. Say what you will about Daniel Bryan. Say what you will about CM Punk. Say what you will about the Elite or Kenny Omega. The fans of AEW is the reason that makes AEW stand apart.
Well, I wanted to say that because we were watching the main event on Wednesday, Lance Archer versus Moxley.
Yeah.
And our producer Lesley was like, "Why is Lance Archer main eventing? Like, what's going on here?" And I was like, "People like him. He's from Texas. I want to know, was the reaction hot in there when he won? Was it shocking? Like
it was one of those moments where everybody, like Moxley came out and that was an insane pop. Archer came out at another insane pop. The crowd was split 50-50, but I can guarantee you everybody was just enthralled with that match. When Lance Archer won that match, we all popped. And then at the end, seeing John Moxley give him a hug and all that stuff, we still popped. It's one of the. It's what I'm saying. It's one of those things where we love these characters. We are invested in these characters. If you are not watching AEW week to week, I can see why, as a producer, our producer Lesley looks at Lance Archer and says, "Why is he over?" You won't get it until you see it. It's the same thing with Orange Cassidy.
I think her question was, no one cares about him. So why are we doing
there's a question, right? No one cares.
Okay, you're going to compare him to Orange Cassidy? Come on.
I am, because there's a lot of people who did not get Orange Cassidy as first. Chris Jericho even went on the podcast and said, I did not like Orange Cassidy because they didn't
but Orange Cassidy's always been over.
But that's what I'm saying. It goes over with Lance Archer. Lance Archer, nobody gets him. Why do we care? The man's over, man. The man is over.
I mean, obviously, you guys put him over on Wednesday. You guys did an excellent job.
We did the same thing with QT. We put him over, and look what happened.
Stop putting people over, okay?
We apologize for putting QT over.
It wasn't why do we care. It's who is he.
Oh, man. Okay.
Do we know him like that?
You thought I
Did he even
hated?
go here?
Oh my god,
Man.
You thought I hated Eddie Kingston?
That's a whole different story there, ladies and gentlemen.
That's a whole different question. But I'm glad you guys had fun there. It's really cool. I'm hoping AEW makes it out to the West Coast at some point. Anywho, we talked about all the big returns this week. We talked about all the debuts. And that is leading me to the question of the week, Ace. All right. The question of the week. John Cena put it out there this week. Are you Team Jorts or Team Cargo Pants? I am talking about the wardrobe, the man himself, the people that it represents. John Cena and Roman Reigns put out their definitive statements this week by coming out in their respective wardrobes. Ace, what team do you wear, baby?
Oh, man. This is hard for me because I used to hate Cena. I used to hate Roman Reigns. I'm a John Cena fan.
I've worn jorts. I'm not a huge fan. I think jorts look better on women, to be honest. But cargo pants always kind of hit the spot regardless.
I gotta say, there's nothing like a good pair of cargo pants. I tell you that much.
I agree. I'm Team Roman all the way. I'm Team Cargo Pants all the way, baby. If you wear cargo pants, you walk into my club.
There you go. You heard it here first for Beef Supreme. So when it comes to the fashion, I gotta say cargo pants. But when it comes to the wrestlers of John Cena and Roman Reigns, I gotta go Team Jorts. But let me know what you think. Is it hashtag Team Jorts or is it hashtag cargo pants? Let us know in the comments below.
Fair enough. Fair enough, Ace. I like that a lot.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time of the day where I tell you where you can find us. That's right, you listening to this. Make sure you like and subscribe at Roger Talks Wrestling. Make sure you leave us a comment. Make sure you use the hashtag Weekly Finisher. And make sure you use the hashtag whether it be Team Jorts or Team Cargo Pants so we can figure out exactly what you be wearing. But not only that, you can listen to this show anywhere you get your podcast. That's Apple Podcasts, Google Music, Amazon Music, SoundCloud, Spotify, or whatever you get your podcast. We are there live and in color. Not only that, you can
in living color.
In living color. Y'all see what y'all did there? Anyway, you can listen to us anywhere you at the movies, at the store, getting a vaccine shot, whatever you got to go do. You can listen to us live on anywhere you get your podcast.
Let's do this, baby. Ace, I'm ready. The next few weeks are going to be crazy leading up to All Out. Let's make our way out there. Let's do it, Ace. See you next week.
I'm excited, Daddy. Y'all have a good week. Catch you guys later. Peace out.